She was the stunning starlet who rose to fame in the 1960s, bewitching audiences in hit films like Bullitt and The Deep. With her graceful beauty and undeniable talent, Jacqueline Bisset could have had any man she wanted. But despite high-profile romances, she never walked down the aisle. Now approaching her 80th birthday, this captivating actress has never regretted her choice. Join us as we explore the fascinating life of Jacqueline Bisset and how she found fulfillment on her own terms. Early life and career. Jacqueline Bisset was born Winifred Jacqueline Fraser Bisset on September 13, 1944, in Weybridge, England. She grew up privileged as the daughter of Max Fraser Bisset, a doctor, and Arlette Alexander, a lawyer who gave up her career after getting married. From a young age, Bisset loved to dance and act. She began taking ballet lessons at age 8 and started modeling as a teenager to pay for them. Her mother encouraged her passion, bringing her to film sets and the theater. She attended the Lycée Français Charles de Gaulle in London, becoming fluent in French. She hoped to become an interpreter at the UN, but was drawn to the dramatic arts. Her acting career began with uncredited extra and walk-on roles in movies like The Knack and How to Get It in 1965. Roman Polanski gave her an early break with a minor part as a secretary in his 1966 film Cul-de-sac. In '67, she made a splash as Miss Goodthighs in the James Bond parody Casino Royale. The same year, she earned her first lead credit in the French film Two for the Road. Though she initially considered giving up acting after struggling to find good roles, 1968 proved to be her breakout year. Bisset earned Golden Globe nominations for her parts in The Sweet Ride and Bullitt opposite Steve McQueen. She impressed Hollywood with her talent and maturity, able to portray sophisticated women rather than just feather-brained beauties. More high-profile roles followed in Airport and The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean. She became an international star in 1977 with The Deep, famous for her wet t-shirt scenes swimming underwater. She disliked being objectified for her looks, which she felt overshadowed her abilities as an actress. Nevertheless, she demonstrated serious dramatic chops in films like Truffaut's Day for Night. She preferred complex roles that allowed her to stretch as a performer, carefully selecting projects that avoided typecasting. By the late 70s, she was one of the biggest names in Hollywood. Her challenging performances in movies like Under the Volcano and La Cérémonie earned critical praise. Love life and relationships. Bisset led a quiet, romantic life. She had several high-profile, long-term relationships over the decades that kept her in the public eye. She met French-Canadian actor Michael Sarrazin on the set of the 1970 film Believe in Me. They began a passionate, decade-long romance, with Sarrazin following Bisset to Hollywood. But his escalating alcoholism put a strain on the relationship. She left him in 1979 after he was arrested for drunk driving. In 1980, she fell in love with Russian dancer Alexander Godunov, famous for defecting to the West while on tour with the Bolshoi Ballet. Godunov pursued her ardently, impressing her with flowers and constant attention. Their temperaments were very different. Godunov was outgoing and brash, while Bisset was refined and quiet. But they were inseparable during their 7 years together. Bisset was devastated when Godunov died of liver failure in 1995 at age 45, reportedly still heartbroken over their breakup. The tabloid press also linked Bisset to Frank Sinatra during The Detective, though she denied anything inappropriate between the married singer and herself. She briefly dated fellow actor Vincent Perez after starring together in the 1998 TV movie Joan of Arc. Her thoughts on marriage. While Jacqueline has been linked to many famous men over the years, she's always remained steadfast in her decision to never marry. She's been open about her wariness of matrimony from early in her career. As an actress, she values her independence and freedom. She realized that the compromises and sacrifices of married life would not suit her. She saw how other actresses' careers floundered once they got married and had kids. She was committed to avoiding that path. In the late 60s, she stated she felt marriage was an institution that smothered both people. She was willing to have serious relationships, but never with the expectation of a wedding. She also observed how people had changed after marriage, letting themselves go physically and mentally. She had no desire to risk her partner developing bad habits and growing complacent. Another factor was her dedication to her work. She knew that as an actress, she'd need to be away for long stretches on movie locations. A husband would surely feel neglected, leading to tension and resentment. She deemed it unfair to have a man waiting at home for months while she pursued her passion. Additionally, Bisset felt having children would be irresponsible given the demands of her career. She'd be forced to divide her focus, shortchanging both her family and her acting. She was unwilling to make the sacrifices required for parenthood. As the years went by, Bisset only became more convinced that matrimony was not for her. She enjoyed the freedom of setting her own schedule and focusing completely on stimulating projects. She also traveled frequently between international filming locations and cherished her ability to pick up and go at a moment's notice. Now entering her 8th decade, she's never regretted her choice. She maintains close friendships instead of relying on one relationship for all her needs. Though some may see it as unusual, Jacqueline Bisset found fulfillment building a rich life centered on personal growth rather than marriage. Her enduring appeal. As she approaches 80, Jacqueline remains a sought-after actress and timeless beauty. Her enduring appeal is remarkable after over 50 years in the spotlight. She credits her graceful aging to avoiding plastic surgery and excessive dieting. She focuses instead on staying active with swimming, yoga, and ballet classes to maintain her slim physique. She eats organic, low-salt foods and applies basic drugstore creams instead of Botox. Additionally, she prioritizes keeping a positive mindset. She says the key to retaining one's looks is to not think ugly thoughts. She radiates an inner warmth and dignity that cannot be diminished by the years. While her stunning presence remains unchanged, she's expanded her acting range over the decades. She started out typecast as a fashionable ingenue and sultry temptress in the 60s, but Jacqueline fought to take on more substantive roles, showing off her impressive dramatic talents. She successfully transitioned to playing upper-class mothers, executives, and grande dame parts suited to her age. Directors remain eager to cast Bisset, whether as a wry matriarch or glamorous artist. She disappears completely into each new character, never relying on her physical allure alone. In the 21st century, Bisset continues, surprising fans with unexpected projects. She remains fascinating both for her ageless beauty and against the odds longevity. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite role of Jacqueline Bisset's? Are you surprised she never got married? Let us know in the comments section below.